everyone, this is Ronika, and today in this video I'll be talking about certain prevailing misconceptions and wrong methods that are being used by students while they prepare for their IELTS or English language. So let us begin with the first point. Practicing with material above your language level. For students who are preparing for IELTS, they often tend to prepare as they do for the other competitive exams. As a result, they practice quantitatively. They do this by solving numerous tests without realizing their potential of English language. Especially for the students who are at beginner or intermediate level, they should first focus on improving their English language skills. They should realize that IELTS is an English language test which judges and tests their English language skills, and it is not meant to improve your English language. There has been many instances in which they pick up material in which they hardly understand 20% of it, which results into no gain. Hence, these students should carefully pick up the material which they are going to study. Giving you a simple example. If your level is at beginner or intermediate, you cannot directly jump into watching mainstream English movies with subtitles. Instead, you should first start with stories, short videos, and then slowly and gradually move to animation movies and then the mainstream movies with subtitles. Point number 2, translation. Now this problem is very common among the students whose medium of instruction at school was not English. They have been so used to translation method and it is so deeply rooted that they cannot stop but think in their native language and tend to translate it in English. Now you need to realize that as a beginner, you may need it to interpret and to understand new sentences and words. But slowly and gradually, as you progress, you need to reduce your dependence on your native language when you speak in English. There will always be certain parts of English that cannot be translated in your mother tongue. And the reason is that the origin of both the language is different. Hence, my advice would be to let go of your native language and begin thinking in English. Point number 3, memorizing grammar and its concepts. Now this comes from the traditional method of teaching English at schools. Grammar is definitely base and it is important, but you should not emphasize only on grammar structure and rules. Rather, you use it very practically in real-life situations. Memorizing will definitely help students to pass the grammar tests, but when it comes to using it in real-life conversations, it is definitely not going to help you out. The tip is focus more on sentences and its structures. Read multiple times and try using it in the conversation. Point number 4. Can't learn without a language partner. Now, I have students who have always been complaining that there's no one at home who can talk with them in English. I wanted to tell them that you don't necessarily need a language partner, because if you have a language partner, it's only going to help you out if your partner is having good command on English language. Many native speakers, they do not focus on their intonation and expressions. Hence, tip is start talking in front of mirror. See your accent, your expressions, your intonations. Point number 5, memorizing words from dictionary. I've often seen students sitting with the dictionary for hours and trying to note down the words and trying to memorize the meaning of the same. Now this again is not going to help them out because it is not possible to remember and recall all those words that you have written it down. So tip is carry a small notebook to write down any new words you see or hear when you go out. And this is definitely going to help you out in building the vocabulary. Point number 6, focusing on only one area of language. Now I've seen students who just focus on one area of language. If they are into reading newspaper, the only activity they do is to read newspaper all the time. If they watch movie, the only thing they do is to watch movie. They forget that every single part, reading, listening, writing and speaking, it counts when you study language. And developing all these areas is very important to be fluent in the language. Every single skill that you develop reinforces the other 3. Hence, the tip is make sure that you tackle all the 4 skills in your practice. Now, the last point is too much expectation from yourself. Students who start learning English language, they want results as soon as they start, or maybe in a very short period of time. They forget to realize that learning English is not a sprint, it's a marathon. It's a continuous process of developing your English language skills, which might take time. Learning every day will create a momentum, and that as a result will accelerate learning. Now, the reason I started my video with certain misconceptions and wrong methods is because that it is important to start learning in a very correct direction. Otherwise, your all the efforts are fruitless. Many students are not able to achieve their desired bands, and the only reason is these kind of wrong methods and misconceptions. They have been used to using it for a long period of time now. So it is the right time to understand these wrong methods, try to prevent it so that it doesn't cause any hindrance in your process of learning English language. I hope you really like this video, and in the coming weeks I'll be posting few more, and I'm sure it is going to be of your help. Thank you so much for watching. Stay tuned.